This is a special podcast produced on site at SHSMD Connections 2022 annual conference as we talk with keynote speakers and session leaders direct from the show floor. I'm Bill Klaproth. With me is Lisa Williams, Senior Director of Growth and Loyalty at Peace Health. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here. This is my first time at SHSMD, and it's been fantastic.
Wow, how about that? Oh, I'm glad you say it's been fantastic. Everybody says that. It's a great conference.
Absolutely.
Well, we're happy you're here, so thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. So we're going to talk about how content strategy is business strategy, crafting a content dashboard for your C-suite. So Lisa, why is it important that you bring your leaders the data they need to understand how the visibility, promotion, and engagement of your content creates business growth and loyalty? Why is that important?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a fantastic question. So when we begin engaging with our C-suite, there's often a perception about what marketing does. And oftentimes that starts with a real desire to provide guidance for us on tactics, rather than having us at the table as strategists to serve the business needs and the user needs. So it's a really great opportunity for us to show, don't tell, for us to be able to start talking to our leaders and help them understand that the content that our team creates, whether that's for the website, for a Google business profile, for stories that we tell, for our blogs, for good data that is accurate. All of that content is content that's created by the marketing team, or we collaborate with other parts of the organization for that content. So I think there's a really big opportunity for us to just spend more time with the C-suite so that they understand what we do. So it was really great in the session yesterday to hear a lot of the leaders address that same problem. So I think the more we can take the time to help them understand the number of people that engage with our content, from a visibility perspective, how visible are we in the market for the brand? And then from a promotion perspective, where are we spending dollars to target and get that content to the right people? And then how are people actually engaging with that content? I think there's an expectation that there's a lot of ability to push content, but we also want to be there in the moments that people need us. When patients and consumers are searching for information, that inbound marketing, I think that's a great opportunity for us. I don't think all of our folks in the C-suite understand that it's not just our job to push out content, it's also our job to be in the moment and really be there for people when they need us. And that might mean a Google business profile. It may not always be an article.
Yeah, that's so true. Absolutely. I love how you say show, don't tell. You know, so sometimes they're just looking at a bunch of numbers. What does that mean to them? But if you show them, illustrate your content strategy and how it is engaging with the community, that can be a big difference, right?
Absolutely. And when they begin seeing that actual engagement from a user perspective, because at the end of the day, they care about their patients. They care about the people that they serve as clinicians and as the C-suite who support those clinicians. And so the more we can help them understand that our work is really aligned with the work that they need to do to have a great brand experience for our consumers.
So how do we integrate our content strategy with our company business strategy? Obviously, the business has a strategy. How do we align our content with that?
Yeah, so the first thing that we try to do is really deeply understand what does success look like from an organizational perspective. That's not always an easy thing to unpack because oftentimes it depends on where you sit. So if I'm a service line leader for a specific service line, I have a set of priorities that I would like marketing to execute for me. If I'm the CFO, there may be a focus on a specific application that we want to use that might improve how people schedule appointments, but that's might be a separate tactic, not completely aligned with where people stand in the organization and also how people want to engage with us. So the first thing we try to do is to gather that alignment. I will share I'm 7 years in healthcare, and prior to that, 19 years in retail and e-commerce. And I think getting to that clarity about what the strategy is really difficult in healthcare. So we often will start with the thing that they care about most, which is campaigns. So we will really craft a dashboard that helps them understand, here's how visible we are in the market, here's where we're spending dollars, here's how people are engaging with that content. what they're reading, what forms they're completing when they pick up a phone call, when they go to a webinar. So that helps them understand. It helps us pilot for them to be able to understand, oh, the marketing team is putting these experiences in front of our users, and they're completing that experience. They're being nurtured by the clinic managers into an actual procedure. And so that part starts gaining us a little bit of trust. And then from there, we get to start sharing with them potentially things they don't know about the work that we do. So helping them understand that our Google business profiles, having that content accurate and really a good reflection of what we're doing for the organization is kind of an aha moment for them. When we tell them that generates 50,000 phone calls a month, or it performs 34x times our actual website, the website's important, but it's also just one of the many touch points that people have. So that gives us an opportunity to start sharing a broader story about our work.
Yeah, I love that. So you mentioned putting together a dashboard. So, in fact, you say we should have a content and business strategy dashboard that will answer those questions that, say, the CFO has about the investment and the results of a content strategy. So I know you were just kind of talking about the dashboard a little bit. What should be in that dashboard? How do we get started creating one? How do we do that?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So the very hard work first is taking a step back and going through a process of discovery and saying, what is all the data that we have? Where is all the data coming from? From our website, from our webinars, from our email system, from our social systems, from our every single marketing touch point that we have, whether that's traditional or digital. Take a step back and really gather all of those tools together. Interview the people. We actually interviewed more than 40 people during this discovery process and tried to just more deeply understand what's the data that we have. It's hard to bring it all together if you're not certain about what you have. So you kind of can't skip that step. So once you've completed that step, you take an analysis of that discovery and say, what were the goals based on what we heard from our leaders? What are the things that we want to know people are doing? How engaged are they in the content that they have? When are they calling us? Which landing pages are they spending time on? Are they getting the information that they need at the clinics? So from there, we pull all of that data into, it can be a data warehouse, it can be a Google Sheets, it can be a lot of different things. I mean, ultimately, there's going to be a lot of data there. So really working with your leadership to have a dedicated data warehouse in the absence of a CRM. If you have a customer relationship management tool, then you're already able to start pulling those data pieces together. In the absence of having finance or revenue cycle data, we can still be able to pull together all of those data sources and then start visualizing it in Tableau. So when we get into Tableau, we try to break that down by those 4 framework of visibility and promotion and engagement and growth. So then our leaders understand, we have millions of people who saw this content. That's not super impressive to CFOs. That's great that people understand our brand. But if I'm the CFO, I care about the procedures that have been scheduled. So we move from visibility into promotion. Where's the ad spend that we've spent? Is that OTT? Is that in search? Is that in display? And then we move into engagement. How many people came to our paid campaign landing page? How many people completed the health risk assessment? How many people attended our webinars? How many people picked up the phone to call, and how many people completed, I'm giving a specific example for a campaign, but completed a downloadable guide. And then we talk about kind of the things that aren't on the dashboard, the fact that we're engaging deeply with the clinic managers, the fact that when they receive these leads, what's the next step for them? If they have someone who completes a health risk assessment and they're high risk, in our community, we want to get them in for an appointment. So then the CFO starts to become interested in that dashboard. Then you move into that growth and loyalty piece, and you're able to show, in a specific example from a cardio campaign that we just completed, we were able to show our goal over the course of the 9-month campaign was to meet 121 new cases for Watchman, TAVR, and MitraClip procedures, and then we got to 126. So now I'm interested. And then we're moving people into understanding how much did it cost us to acquire those new procedures.
Right. So this dashboard really can help answer those questions. And ultimately, how is this affecting our bottom line? And you just gave a great example of that. We were shooting for, I think you said 119 or
121, and we got to 126.
So that now, okay, now I love this. I love seeing all this engagement and all the different metrics that go along with this content strategy.
Exactly.
So Lisa, thank you for sharing that information with us, and thank you for being here at SHSMD. Any final thoughts you want to add about creating a dashboard for the C-suite?
No, I think one of the things I'd love to share in the session yesterday, we all are really excited about just spending time with our C-suite to help them understand what we do. Why is the content that we create important, and how can that help them?
Yeah, absolutely. Lisa Williams, thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
And make sure you sign up for this year's SHSMD virtual conference, October 12th, 2022, plus on demand through the end of the year. The virtual conference will feature access to 50-plus sessions recorded from the September in-person annual conference, plus all new live sessions. Just go to shsmd.org, that's shsmd.org/virtual, to learn more and to get registered. And please join us at the next SHSMD Connections Annual Conference, September 2023 in Chicago. And if you found this podcast helpful, please share it on your social channels and find access to our full podcast library at shsmd.org/podcasts. I'm Bill Klaproth. As always, thanks for listening.